back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Now, guys, I was just speaking with my next guest, and he was sharing a story with me. But the thing about it is, many of us on our life journey, we always have experiences that we channel from. And my next guest is no different. Omari Kobe joins us, also known as Trip, and he is an aspiring recording artist right here in Tobago. Omari, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
So we were talking during the break. We went back to how it started for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about writing. Was it a love letter or a love
It
song?
was actually a song.
Was a song.
Yeah, in my earlier days of Standard 1, Standard 2, I had a huge crush on whose name shall not be disclosed on this show. And we were sitting not too far from each other. And I'm here and I'm in my book and I'm scribbling some lyrics and then I go home and I show it to my mom. And I'm like, Mom, so I wrote this song today in school for XYZ. And she's like, it's wonderful, darling, and I love it. But I didn't buy your school books for this. So I'll probably buy you a book if you need to write. You do this again.
Right.
And from then, it stemmed into something that I genuinely love because I put the song into practice and I tried to sing the song and I was like, this is not half bad. And then I just put more into practice until it became one of my favorite pastimes.
Right. And did you always like writing?
Always. I was always a fan of literature. And I just decided to explore different avenues with it because I was already a fan of story writing, poem writing. So I decided to say, okay, let's try another facet of same writing.
And when did you actually getting involved in music professionally? When did that start for you?
I think it was 2015. I had released my first song at the point in time onto social medias and stuff. I was still in high school at the point in time. A bit apprehensive because, you're in high school. It's music. Everybody's expecting you to take the colloquial dance all route. And then we did it. We got good response on the ground from school. And we actually did Great Fed 2016 the following year. And then after that, it more or less gave me the inspiration to keep pushing.
Who are some of the persons that you would have met on your journey?
I met TJ on my journey twice actually. One for a friend's event that they kept in Tobago and once for Great Fit. I think it was 2018. He actually gave me some of the best advice on my career. His simple advice was controversy. Controversy makes with the music. Because at the point in time, he had a song that was playing in Trinidad and Tobago. And he let me know straight up, he was like, the controversy is really the lyrics in that song because it's stuff that people don't colloquially put into the dancehall. I was like, okay, cool, that's a good aspect to look at. Another person I love to give credence to as a Tobagonian is Sherwin Winchester. Being completely honest. Last year I did a competition in Tobago here and he was one of the judges.
Right.
And he's one of the few people that critically analyze and critique me and give me some genuine advice and I always give him a thumbs up for that.
Yeah, and you see, when you're an upcoming artist, you're such an open canvas. It's like, you're taking the steps and you're getting ready to paint with your brush on that canvas. But sometimes you meet people that are strategically placed there at that place, that time, and something they say or an action may just resonate with you.
Correct.
Yeah, and then another part of the journey starts. Yeah. So what's your favorite genre? Do you love all types of music or is it
I love
one thing?
I love music on a whole as a musician. Like to me, I don't really have a love for a specific genre. But if I have to be specific, I am a fan of 80s funk. I don't know why. I just love 80s funk and disco music.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against me. Rick James is one of my idols. Don't hold it against me. I love that era of music because to me that's when music was one of its purest. If you're not a vocalist, you're not singing.
Yeah.
If you're not a musician, you're not playing instruments. Music was at its purest at that time. You couldn't fake it with any auto tune or if you had it, you had it.
Yeah. So in terms of instruments, do you play any instruments?
I used to when I was a bit younger, but I don't take playing my instruments that seriously right now until I think I'm a bit more where I'd like to see myself sonically with the music. But I'm trying to get more into the guitar. I was always a drummer, a bit of pan. I'm trying to get more heavy into the guitar right now.
All right. So you're basically trying to do more performing. You're trying to be more on stage.
Correct.
That's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that part of the journey
Correct.
now that we're
Correct.
talking about.
Correct.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about where you performed. You said you met Sherwin Winchester, one of your mentors. Where was this?
That was Tobago Stars of Soca last year at Shore Park Complex. Yeah, I was a finalist in a competition that they hosted in Tobago here. It was an amazing experience, and what made Sherwin stand out to me is during the entire competition, a lot of artists after finishing the show are coming back to the audition room and they're like, biases, so much biases, and I'm like, I don't think it's a bias. Maybe if you go put your best product forward, we will see what comes outside. So then I go present my product, and Sherwin is like, amazing product. Here what you had to do for me, small man. Start to move around more. He said, yeah, if you was the man that could sing and I know you had the vocals, move around more on the ground, interact with the people, jump around a little bit. My next performance, I put his advice exactly into favor. Happened. One of my greatest performances to that day, I was like, okay, showing on to something. This is why I listen to the people who are in the game more mature than you.
Yeah. And especially if it's constructive.
Correct.
Because sometimes it's not.
Correct.
You know, if I had to be honest.
That's the truth.
Because most of the times you reach the negativity first.
Yes, most of the times it's what you cannot do opposed to what would be best for you.
Yeah, the negativity comes first. But it's your ability to push through that and destroy that force that is guiding the negativity.
Correct. Because how I look at it sometimes when people leave those comments are, what could have been the inspiration behind that comment? So, okay, if someone says that they think your performance was a bit lackluster, maybe they're negative, yes. But if you take what they're saying into account and then you critically analyze it and say, why would they think the performance was lackluster? Maybe I didn't interact with the crowd enough. Maybe I didn't engage. So those are the things sometimes I like to look at to pick apart for myself analytically as a performer.
Yeah, and that's a good outlook to have. Because like I said, you're a canvas. You think of yourself as a canvas, but you are the artist here. You are painting. And so the people that you meet on the way, whether it's negative or positive, there's always something to take away from that. Yeah. And we choose. You either choose to let it hinder you.
Or let it build.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what's next for Omari?
I have a couple of releases right now. My producer is currently in New York. Big up my boy Platinum Touch. I know you're streaming, bro.
Hi, Platinum.
Yeah, we're working on a lot of music right now, including this release that you all might hear in a while. Apart from that, we're trying to create a new song for Tobago. So for me, personally, I love soca, but not soca. And what I mean by that is I love Rai Shorty Eye's rendition of soca. When the chutney and the Afro music meets, SOKA, love it.
Yes.
New school soca, I'm not too much a fan of.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to revolutionize the old school song and modernize it a bit. Because in my humble opinion, there is no era of soca that is better than the old school era of soca.
Right.
It's just the kids of today wouldn't be able to relate to some of the topics of old school soca. But the energy of the music itself, the essence, it's completely there. So we're trying to capitalize on it and see if we can modernize it for the kids.
Yeah, and I think the godfathers, the pioneers, the innovators, they would have been coming from a totally different place.
Era, correct.
And so the music gives us that. And so the 80s was a wonderful time to be involved in music. Music was up there. It was at its pinnacle in the 80s. So I was very fortunate, just as you, I was fortunate to grow up in a very musical home. So we had all of the genres there. It was soul, it was jazz, it was Jim Reeves on a Sunday, you know. So it was like a ball of just musical energy all the time. And it makes for a better artist because you appreciate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Plus, you could gain inspiration from different facets too. Like, you could be at a mental block while working at a song, and instantly, this piece of Rick James or Jim Reeves might fly into your mind, and you're like, you know, this cadence wasn't too bad, this key wasn't too bad. So you could gain inspiration from the things you feed yourself as well too. Because the reason why a lot of modern artists might consider themselves getting creativity blocks It's because what do you feed yourself? Most of them only listen to music that is unbecoming in this current day and time.
Yes, that is a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you put in is so important.
Very.
It gives birth to negativity or positivity. And so that's why we're coming back to the fact that you have to choose
Mm-hmm.
what you put in, and then you get the required results.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
What would you say to the people watching today?
What I would say is, regardless of where you are, what you are doing, always stand firm to your beliefs. Courage is not what it takes to stand in a crowd, but stand alone. And always strive for greatness. Never let people say you can't. If you think you could do it, try. You never know. You never know. The sky is the limit. And we've just learned that we have UFOs, as the United States says, so the sky is no longer the limit. Put your best foot forward.
Yeah, it's not even the sky anymore.
Yeah, the sky is no longer the limit.
Whatever is beyond there, it's not
Correct.
even the sky.
Correct. So put
Yeah.
that best foot forward. Plus, we live in a technological advanced time where we have artificial intelligence, we have chat GPT, we have all kind of facets of software. So there's nothing keeping us back in this day and age beside ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. So and this is something that I always ask, how does your lyrics, how do they come to you? Do they come to you and you just have to rush up and get to writing? Do they come to you while you're sleeping? Do they come to you with a melody?
I mean,
How does it come to you?
Sometimes it's a cacophony of things. Like,
Yes.
okay, I have a weird habit as to where the beat would start playing and I would say absolutely nothing and start humming a weird melody with no words. And then I'm just here like, I like this melody, and then I'll put words to it. Or sometimes I'll get the words first, no melody. Or sometimes I'll just have my book and I'll just start writing absolutely whatever comes to mind. I don't know, I have no specific form of writing style. It just happens sometimes, I guess. Most times freestyle, to be honest.
Yeah, that's because it's a natural part of you.
Yeah.
So it just happens.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
and it's something that you have, or it's either you have it or you don't. I always say that because it's a spiritual gift.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
It is because musicians have a lot of power garnered to them, and they do not understand the power that they have garnered to them.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in the world universally listens to music. That's everyone's common trait. Everyone around the world in some form or fashion listens to music.
I remember a creative telling me one time, Monifa Sinclair, good morning to you. She was saying that as creatives, without us, without the musicians and without the artists, without the designers, the world is just two shades, black and white.
It is.
So there's no color, there's no substance, there's no excitement, there's no,
The reason I could agree to you with that is in most times of strife in societal times, it's always the creators that speak out first. It's always the artists making the controversial pieces to say, we don't conform to this. It's always the musicians making the controversial pieces of arts to say, we stand against this, to rally the people together. For example, look at the deceased Bob Marley. Like, while Jamaica was going through a pivotal time, one artist single-handedly geared the people into a different direction of positivity.
Yeah.
That was a dark era and time for Jamaica, and
Yes,
people
it
don't know, you know.
was. Yeah.
And Bob Marley single-handedly came together and steered the people in another direction. Consciousness and good vibration. Now there's a Rasta every two corners.
Yeah. And the positivity that he displayed as well, it was hypnotic.
Correct.
You had no choice but to
fall in
go
line.
in that direction.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the power. We come back to not just having the gift, but having that spiritual connection.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, we come back to that.
Correct.
Yeah. So what have you been doing thus far? I know October Carnival is upon us. There are quite a few events that are taking place. Any of these interest you? Are you involved in anything? What's going on?
To be honest, every event for this season interests me. I'm just waiting on the right call from the right people, I'd say. Because the type of artist I am, I don't really like to go hunting for the bookings when the season come around.
Right.
I'm more like to let the work speak for itself. So I'll drop a couple releases. If Tobago is feeling fit, I'm on the casting. If Tobago isn't digging it, I'm not on the casting. I really don't like to be the type of artist that goes, okay, I dropped a song, play me, give me a booking. I find that's more looking for a handout, looking for a spoon in mouth.
Right.
Drop good quality content, and the people are gonna ask for good quality content. You know that kind of way? So that is really my mindset right now when it comes to the performances in Tobago.
Okay. And somebody was telling me the other day, once you're writing, just write. Just write. Every time get your pen to paper, just write, because what happens is that it's so therapeutic.
Correct.
It cleanses. It gives you a certain type of outlook. And
Does.
sometimes you need to have a certain type of outlook because you come into contact with so many types of souls, mostly negative, because the negative pushes through first,
Correct.
and then you
Correct.
have to chip away, push
Correct.
through,
Completely correct.
and then you get to the positivity.
Yep. Completely.
Yeah. Tell us about Soca Jumbie. How did this come about?
This
So
song,
this is a new
Con-
new song?
conventionally new to the listeners, but
Okay.
it was composed in 2018, believe you not, while I was actually still 17 years old with my producer who is in New York right now. But what happened with that song is while we are producing the song, we hit a roadblock when we're at the chorus and we're like, where do we go from here? And then I'm like, bro, it hits me. We're gonna put a brass in the song and it's gonna go pum 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 pum. He's like, all right, I'm feeling it. We put the brass down and we start playing this track back. And he's like, you want to sing anything on top of this? I'm like, nope, I ain't even playing anything over this because the vibes is already there. And what we decided to do is, again, as I said before, we wanted to take the old school facet of soca and modernize it. So if you listen to the song properly, you'll hear a couple of djembes in the background from the Afro song. You'll hear a couple stuff from the Chuckney song in it still, because we're trying to revolutionize the old school sound of soca and modernize it a bit.
Let me tell you what I love. I love the fact that you are so in touch with the musical pioneers that went before you. Because it makes you such a holistic artist now.
It does.
Because you are following and getting to know not just the pioneers, but you're getting to know their art, their music.
I like that you say that because
Yeah.
for me, I think that you cannot really build on a foundation if you don't know what the foundation is built on. So like, okay, you can't go on a concrete platform and put up a ply house, not knowing if it's concrete you're basing on. So like for me as an entertainer, I had to binge listen these types of artists because there's no way I could tell myself I would like to get into the arena of soca. I would like to be multifaceted in the arena of soca, and I'm not listening to the proprietors before me.
Right. And this is you. This is you doing.
This video is actually such a while back. It was just me and my bro just having, a good time.
Yeah, that's your signature dance there.
Yep. Yep, we were just having a good time.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. What song? Which song was this?
This was actually Soca Jumbie itself.
This is the
Yeah.
actual video here.
Well,
Soca Jumbie.
actually, it isn't the music video itself. This was just us having a good time,
Okay.
doing more promotional stuff.
Yeah, I love the fact you guys look like you're having so much fun.
Well, that's the essence of it. I mean,
Yeah.
when it comes down to soca music at its core, soca music is freedom music. It isn't music to be constrained or held down by. So when I am personally doing soca, I say I like the music to have a spirit in it. And that's the premise of Soca Jumbie, that when you hear that song, there's innately a jumbie in there. There's a spirit in there. You cannot just sit still and not move a hand, not tap a leg, not shake a finger. There's a jumbie in the song. There's a soca jumbie in it. You cannot just sit down and listen to the song and say, okay, this is nice. I don't want to tap my foot. Have to shake something.
You have to. Because it's supposed to be so natural. It's supposed to be like a reflex. It should not be, because I've seen it where people try so hard not to move. They try so hard not to even sway or shake. And then it's a losing battle. You have to move something. You
Correct.
have to shake something.
Correct. And that's why I named it Soca Jumbie, because to me it's like a possession of music,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something that is so spiritual, and I don't think everyone understands
at
the
all.
gravity of that.
At all, because music is hypnotic.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is hypnotic.
Be careful what you feed yourself, kids.
Yeah.
Be very careful what you listen to.
Because it goes in there and does its own thing.
Yep.
And, I don't think some of us understand just how deep that is.
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct.
So, let's say something to the young artists, because there's so many of the young people coming up and they absolutely want to perform. They absolutely love singing. They're already writing more than you and I.
Mm-hmm.
What do we say to them? How do we encourage them today?
Work hard and get into the music. For the young entertainers, you're going to be rubbed a lot and short-handed until you get yourself involved in the music. Learn how to read a musical scale. If you're only an artist and you only want to do writing and you only want to do songs, it still helps to learn musical scale. So you could learn pitch, you could learn key, you could learn octaves, you could have variation and dynamic within singing. Learn the musical scale. It is your best friend as a musician. Secondly, get more in depth with the craft. Learn the different softwares that they are to use, because sometimes you can't always rely on a producer, you can't always rely on an engineer. You need to get into the meat and potatoes, learn how to do some of this stuff yourself. Because me, for example, if my producer calls me in the morning and he's like, bro, I can't finish this song, he's going to send me my stems and I'm going to finish my song. There's nothing keeping me back. So get in depth in it. A lot of us as a young entertainers, we rely on someone too much. My producer, my engineer. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I love that. What are you doing? And that is so fitting. It's a fitting way to end. We are wrapping. Thank you so much, Omari.
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Same.
And we wish you nothing but blessings from our family to yours.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so continue writing, continue performing.
Most
and
definitely.
that is all we ask of you. Success as well.
Thank you.
So
Appreciated.
Yes. So thank you guys. Thank you for tuning into Brunch. We had a wonderful time. We are back next week, but unfortunately we are wrapping today. It's a beautiful Friday. Enjoy the day. Be safe. Stay blessed. And from our family to yours, let me take my time as a tongue twister there. We wish you nothing but peace, love, and light. Before I go, our trivia question for today: the largest brain coral in the Western Hemisphere is located where in Tobago? It's located in the Calliston Drain. Nobody got the answer. But we love you still. We love you always. And be blessed. We'll see you guys for another edition of Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Look forward to a performance from Omari Kobe, aka Trip. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
It's your boy Chip the artist, representing from a boy Anton Parks. You know we go. Do da do da do da do da do da do da da do da da da. Rock your big head on. Rock your big head on. Rock your big head on. Tobago.
She like loud music and soca, living la vida loca. You like 50 Shades of Mocha, baby, you know I have to hold ya. You have me under a spell, girl, watching the hocus pocus. You have me losing my focus, baby, don't fret if something poke ya. Oh yeah, oh girl. You like the fetting, baby, you like the sessin', baby. The jam does drive you crazy, can't I push it back on you, man? You like the fetting, baby, you like this wetting, baby. So forget about stress, push it back, that is just my baby.
Oh God, rock your big head on, rock your big head on.
And when you push it back, that is just my baby. She drinking punch, no chaser, always having she paper. She know that she calling my phone, cause she wanted something later. She high grade come from Jamaica. She styling, saucing with flavor. When the soca drum be hit, she all she bones and soul, it does start to shake up. Oh yeah, oh girl. You like the fetting, baby. You like the sexing, baby. The jam does drive you crazy. Take your time, push it back on you, man. You like the fetting, baby. You like the sweating, you like it. So forget about stress. Push it back, that is sex, my baby. Oh God. Tobago up here, it was a pleasure. Love being here. It's always a good time. My baby. It's true. Platinum touch.